Moment, please. Button thing flung backwards. Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to the Doctor Who Retrospective. I'm Scotty. You're not. I get a little messed up. We're in Series 3, Episode 7. I lost track. We had... Try to recall here. I did 2 last night, so those were Smith and Jones. What's the next one? The Shakespeare Code. And when I started this morning, it was Gridlock. Then there was the 2-parter, right? And there was the Mark Gatiss' The Scorpion King episode, and this one, episode 7. That's right, 42, which is about 42 minutes of runtime, but also 42 minutes until this craft that they're on goes into a sun. Not the sun, a sun. I don't remember this episode. After rewatching it, I do sort of remember, especially some of the stuff with Martha's mom, but it just, I don't know, this is one that wiped from my brain. And probably it's because of who wrote it. And when his name popped up on the screen, I went, oh, of course, that's why my memory wipes. Because, well, I'll tell you in a minute. We start out, the pre-title sequence is actually the Doctor and Martha. They're in the TARDIS, and he configures her phone to be like Rose's phone, where she can call from anyone, anywhere she wants. And, yeah. And then they get a distress call, and they find out they're on this ship that's going to crash into the sun. And then we get opening credits, and then we see 42 by Chris Chibnall. This was his first story. You don't know who that is. Good for you. But also, he's the guy who gave us 3 of the worst seasons of Doctor Who. And a lot of people blame Jodie Whittaker for it. And I myself, I don't blame her. But I feel like, I don't know, when you're used to a man portraying the character of the Doctor, you get to that point where she goes, I'm the Doctor, and this is blah, 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 and it's like, but she, I don't know, it just doesn't, I don't know. But when Ncuti first comes on screen and goes, I'm the Doctor, I'm just like, yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. I don't know, it's just, I don't know. And the writing didn't help, with Chibnall in charge and everything. Chibnall is known for doing bad stories. And this is a bad story. It feels like Chibnall watched The Impossible Planet / Satan Pit and said, let me do something like that, but only in 1 episode, and let's do it a little bit different. Because it's very similar, because in The Impossible Planet / Satan Pit, it was a planet that was on by a sun. It shouldn't exist by a sun, but it was there. And it was eventually, the danger was that it's going to crash into it. And this thing's going to crash into the sun. It has at one point, there's some entity taking over people's minds, just like in that. And there is a moment where the companion is stuck on a ship out there and in peril, much like Rose was in that 2-parter. So, yeah. So it turns out that they harvested stuff from this star or sun to use as fuel. And what it is the sun is alive, and it's taking control of people to get revenge on these people for doing it. So the obvious choice is obvious, but we gotta wait through the entire episode to come to that conclusion, because, yeah. Like I said, this is a speed bump. I say that because this is right here. Speed bump. It's a speed bump on the way to some good stuff, and this is a hell of a speed bump that just... But like I said, there is stuff in it that makes it important. Like with the last one where, Martha can call on it from anywhere she wants. So she calls her mom, and it turns out her mom is with some people from the government who are trying to track down the doctor. They work for Mr. Harold Saxon, they even mentioned Election Day. I guess he's not the Prime Minister yet, but he will be. Sorry. Harold Saxon's a very important person in this universe. Let me get to it. Yeah. But, so yeah. Sorry about that. Had a sneeze. But I could not pay attention to this. I was listening, so I knew the basics. They have to figure out how to stop this thing from crashing into it. Eventually, the whole thing ends up being where the doctor's about to get taken over by this thing, and he says they have to vent the engines and give the particles back, and it works, and that's how they're saved. But some people die. Captain McDonald, she dies. Is it McDonald or McDonald? I don't know. She sacrificed herself, killing the man that she loves, usually controlled by the creatures, which, once we find out that they relinquish control, killing them is kind of not a good idea. But look who wrote this. They said it's not the Who episode. We have to have people die. And, at the end, she calls her mom. Her mom says, 3 calls in the same day. Well, because, they're saying earlier, I just mentioned, I was taking my trash out, but I heard it. Apparently, there was, I don't know. Once I realized this was Chibnall, it made a lot of sense why this was so stupid. So, to get this machine working, they have to put in who had the most #1 hits, Elvis or the Beatles. I'm not kidding. So she has to call her mom, and she looks it up, and it's Elvis. Yeah. Why? Chibnall! Chris, why was that in there? He doesn't know. I don't know. I wonder if Chris Chibnall looks at some of the stuff he wrote and realizes that he made bad decisions, kind of like John Carpenter with Halloween 2. Yeah, I was drunk off my ass and I wrote the whole sibling thing. Which, by the way, you didn't need to have the sibling thing happen. All you gotta do is kind of retcon the ending of Halloween a little bit, where he falls off and they find, and they go out, he disappears or whatever. But then the beginning of 2, they find and they shoot him. You get shot a few times and they leave him dead. Or maybe he's been shot 6 times, he falls out. There's a great ending for Halloween, but maybe they find him, he got up but then stumbled and fell. I know it's kind of stupid, but they take him to the hospital in the paddy wagon, and he wakes up in the hospital and starts killing there. And then you don't need to have Lori be his sister, because Lori will just be at the hospital where he's killing people, and so there you go. I didn't say it was a great idea, I just said it was an idea, But anyway, back to Doctor Who. So yeah, the episode ends with Martha calling her mom, and it's revealed that the election day is coming up. And she asks what day it is, because then he can just take her straight to that day when she made the calls, so that they can go wherever they want and they can come back, And he's gonna continue. And he gives her a TARDIS key. So now he's starting to trust her more. Yeah, 7 episodes in, sure. I feel like he should have given her the TARDIS key back in the Gatiss episode, but it's in this one for some reason. So like I said, there are some things in this that are important for the overarching story, but I don't know. It feels like just a repeat of the Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit with a lot of the stuff that's in this episode, and that's probably why it's forgettable, because I remember those ones better. Although there is a phrase that goes through here, burn with me. Nothing is so sinister as when the doctor says it. Burn with me, Martha. But he, yeah. So it is now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to hit a streak of bangers, starting with a two-parter, Human Nature, The Family of Blood. I'll talk about those episodes separate, but yeah, we got Human Nature and Family of Blood. We got Blink, Utopia, Last of the Time Lords, and The Sound of Drums. Or The Sound of Drums and The Last of the Time Lords. Whichever one comes first. I think The Sound of Drums comes first. Bangers. Full speed to the end. Yes. So, what are your thoughts on this episode? Let me know in the comments below. Share, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Sky, and I'll see you. We're going to try this again. In the next one. This could be like my sonic screwdriver. Because it doesn't work!